Hey everybody, Will Davis with the Monroe County Reporter. Here's the top story in this week's newspaper. Leave Chief Harris alone or you will die. That is the threat that was received at the Forsyth Police Department aimed at City Manager Janice Hall. The Sheriff's Office now investigating after getting a hold of the letter, the threat, and sending it to the GBI Crime Lab. Sheriff Brad Freeman telling the reporter they hope to get a DNA sample off the letter, which threatened the life of Janice Hall. She has done a review of the Forsyth Police Department that had some suggestions and some changes aimed at Forsyth Police Chief Eddie Harris, including that Harris relinquish his 2020 Tahoe that he was driving to be turned over to a patrol officer, also that he wear a tie and a uniform, and also that he let Janice know when he's going to retire. He is fully vested when he's ready to retire, and so those changes have been made, but one resident sending in this threatening letter, and we'll see where the investigation goes. Stay tuned in the Monroe County Reporter. Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories. I-475 in southern Monroe County on Friday, the scene of dozens of mattresses scattered across the north and southbound lanes after a tractor-trailer plowed into a pole sign that was on the interstate. It scraped completely one half of the tractor-trailer off, sending its contents all over the interstate. The other vehicle wound up under the fuel tank of the rig. Incredibly, the driver was not seriously injured. They were taken to the hospital for treatment, and the mattresses were eventually piled up, and the interstate was reopened several hours after the accident. See more details in this week's Reporter. Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories.
Hi, I'm Donna Wilson with this week's Monroe County Reporter Incident of the Week. Deputy Anthony Thompson was overwhelmed by the smell of marijuana at a stop with a gray 2020 Jeep Trailhawk with a 47-year-old male driver and female passenger near Johnsonville Road on June the 14th, around 4:19 p.m. The driver was arrested for possession. Thompson had seen the SUV fail to maintain the lane before and stopped. When he approached the vehicle, he could strongly smell weed when the occupants rolled down the window. Thompson noticed that he had a lighter holder on his waist labeled with 420, which is a number known to be associated with smoking marijuana. The deputy then spoke to the woman and asked her for the vehicle's identification and registration, but she said she had left it on the table at her home. Thompson then returned to the driver and asked if they had been smoking any marijuana. He replied that they had earlier in the day, and when asked if there was any inside the SUV, the answer was no. Thompson told him that due to the odor of marijuana, he was going to do a search and remove the passenger from the car. She told him she had a medical marijuana card and had medical marijuana in her purse. Several bags of marijuana were found in 2 bags in the spare tire area of the trunk, and a Ziploc bag of weed was found in the glove box. Both occupants denied knowing who the marijuana belonged to, and then they were both handcuffed. The driver then spoke up and said, "I put it there." The woman denied having any knowledge of the marijuana and was released with the vehicle. The man was taken to jail and charged with marijuana possession.
Y'all, it's Tammy Rafferzitter with the Monroe County Reporter and this week's Everyday Hero. When it comes to first, Rosemary Walker is standing at the front of the line. She was elected the first Black homecoming queen for Mary Persons High School in 1972 and is now the curator of the first African American History Museum in Monroe County, the Telling Our Story Museum, which houses a personal collection that documents Black history in Forsyth and Monroe County. Rosemary founded the museum at the Hollis House at 81 East Main Street in 2008 before moving into the Conley Building 3 years later. The museum is now located at the W.M. Hubbard Complex at 500 Highway 83. She said everyone knows the story of Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, so she wants to focus on local history. Rosemary, who was also crowned Miss Basketball during high school, graduated from Mary Persons in 1973 and spent 14 years keeping score for the girls and boys basketball teams. She worked 40 years at the rec department, coaching basketball, football, and cheerleading. She was also a 3-term city council member. She has 3 daughters with her husband of nearly 49 years, Kenny, Kuwana, Tia, and Cindy. The couple also have 7 grandchildren who are all interested in sports. She is a 4th generation of her family in Monroe County and has always lived here with no plans of ever leaving or retiring. She jokes that the nursing home she goes into one day will be here. Rosemary has a large mirror in the museum inspired by a song by Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. She tells young visitors to look at themselves in the mirror and then ask them, "What do you see?" That's what you start with. You start with yourself, and you can be anything that you want to be, but treat people the way you want to be treated along the way. Very wise words from a very wise hero, Miss Rosemary Walker.
Well, Monroe County has had a lot of thunderstorms lately, and one of those lightning bolts found a detached garage on Whittle Lane. As you can see, the detached garage was totally destroyed by flames, and it is a rental home owned by Joel Kennedy. And Kennedy's saying that he will be able to rebuild with insurance and said he's glad it was a detached garage. Thunderstorms still in the forecast for the rest of the week in Monroe County. See more details in this week's reporter. Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories.
Hey, this is Diane Gladwell, Monroe County Reporter, Community News. This week we have a chance to brag about a native son. Dr. Floyd Willis has received the first Lifetime Achievement Award at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. Dr. Willis grew up in Monroe County, and all of his family, he has several siblings that are known here, a couple that are still around locally. His parents were prominent citizens here. And so we're really proud to have a claim on him. He graduated from Mary Persons and went on to attend Yale University and then the Morehouse School of Medicine, and did his residency at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, New York. But a few years later, when the Mayo Clinic decided to open their operation, their facility in Jacksonville, they asked Dr. Willis to come there, and he's been there ever since and has been very respected, and we're proud to have a claim on him as a native of Forsyth.
Tragedy struck in southern Monroe County on Zebulon Road on Monday night. A 25-year-old Macon man, Brandon Cox, was killed when his motorcycle collided head-on with an SUV. It happened in the 10,000 block of Zebulon, almost to Shy Road. Cox was pronounced dead at the scene after the head-on collision. The other vehicle was turning into a driveway, taking a left-hand turn when it collided with Cox. He was a graduate at FPD and worked at Steady Flow Plumbing, which put out a statement that said their thoughts and prayers are with the family. All sources saying Cox was a well-liked and well-respected young man. See more details in this week's reporter. Meet all your glass needs right here in Monroe County. Glass Technologies, located at 8499 Rivoli Road in Bolingbrook. offers in-house glass cutting, custom glass shower enclosures, residential and commercial glass replacement, and sunroofs. They specialize in residential services and provide free estimates on all their work, no matter how big or small. Give them a call, 478-993-2101, or find them on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Terry Johnson, and I write Monroe Outdoors for the Reporter. Are you afraid of snakes? If you are, you're one of the 62% of Americans that say that they're at least slightly afraid of snakes. That being the case, what would you have done if you were a Monroe County couple a few weeks ago that was walking their dogs down a path and came around a corner and found two large snakes that appeared to be engaged in deadly combat? In this week's Reporter, I'll tell you how they reacted, what they were really looking at, and how this might change your attitude about at least one species of snake. It's all in this week's Reporter.
Hey Monroe County, whether you need garage floors, basements, pool decks, or driveway patios, Concrete Coatings are the ones to call. Commercial or residential, they offer a 5-year warranty. Free estimates, call today. Concrete Coatings, serving all of Middle Georgia.
Hey everyone, this is Bart Davis with This Week Sports. Culloden's Will Chambliss did well in 2 of his golf tournaments so far this month. He tied 22nd in the Golden Mile Invitational, being 5 shots under par. And he tied 4th in the Southern Amateur Championship qualifier, being 6 under par. He also shot a hole-in-one and an eagle in the qualifier. Switching to baseball, Mary Persons graduate Jaden Bankston made his pitching debut for the Macon Bacon on Saturday. He pitched 3 innings and only allowed 1 hit, helping the Bacon win 15-3. Bankston will begin his sophomore season for South Georgia State Hawks in the spring. Good job to both those guys. Monroe County held a parade to send off the U12 All-Stars to the World Series in New Orleans. And rec softball teams have been formed. See pictures of both, along with more news in this week's Reporter.
Hey Monroe County, whether you need garage floors, basements, pool decks, or driveway patios, Concrete Coatings are the ones to call. Commercial or residential, they offer a 5-year warranty. Free estimates, call today. Concrete Coatings, serving all of Middle Georgia.